everyone, we're back. We have another experiment for you that is actually called Melting Rainbow Experiment. And this is kind of similar. We've done a number of experiments over the last few months that would use baking soda, vinegar, and some other items. So it's similar, but I think what you're going to like about this one is you got to get your hands dirty and get them all squished and make these balls of baking soda. So what we need to make sure that you have when you get started is you need some baking soda. Ta-da! You need some dishwashing liquid, and I have to tell you, it was very difficult to find dishwashing liquid that wasn't a specific color. I have blue at home, lots of blues, lots of greens. There's even an orange colored different dish soap. So I tried to find one that was pretty clear, and we'll see if that can work for us. We need food coloring. You probably have food coloring at home, probably making cupcakes for frosting and so forth. And I actually have 4 different colors here. I have red, I have yellow, I have green, and I have blue here. I also have a spoon, okay, it calls for a tablespoon. This happens to be a teaspoon, but this is okay, we'll just use this. How many times does it take to make a tablespoon with teaspoons? It takes 2, so we're gonna use 2 teaspoons to get a tablespoon of our baking soda. I started thinking that I was gonna use containers like these, but we're gonna try to do it with plates, and we're gonna try to do it with plates because it's gonna be easier for you to see. And I think it's easier to manipulate and kind of squish around the baking soda at the same time. And what we're doing basically is a chemical reaction when we get done between the baking soda and the vinegar that I have here. So what it calls for is a tablespoon of baking soda, and I think I'm going to have to try to open this even further. Be careful with baking soda because being that it is so powdery, it can get everywhere. So my suggestion is to do this on a table that maybe has a tablecloth on it or paper towels or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 teaspoons, because remember I said 2 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. And I'm going to use this in each plate for each color. Now I'm sure at home you have tablespoons, so you only need to do 1 tablespoon. Okay, so I've got my 2 tablespoons going here. And then what I want to do is actually have a few drops of each color, and I'm going to put that in with each of these baking sodas. So I'm going to drip a couple for each. Did that for my blue one. Going to do that for my green one. All right, got my yellow one here. And I've got my red one. Put a couple of drops. Of course, the more food coloring you put in here, of course, the darker it should really become, right? So then I'm going to squirt some dishwashing soap in each as well. Just a few drops. I probably put a little bit more than a few drops, but we'll see what happens.
Can you move those water cups so we can see the red plate?
Sure.
Thank you, Miss Bonnie.
I can do that. How's that? Is that better?
Wonderful.
Okay. So now I'm going to mix it with a fork. Now you may find when you mix that with a fork. Oh, got to put in my, I didn't put my soap in. Oh, I did put my soap in. Well, this one doesn't look like I did very, very much. So, kind of mush it, mash it up. Now, what you want to be able to do is make this into an orange ball, this particular, or a yellow ball for this one. And I'm not feeling good that this is going to work too well, so I'm actually going to put some water. Trying to figure out which is the water and which is the vinegar. I would say that this is the water. And what you might want to do as you work on this is just put all the liquid in, do one at a time. Now I put everything so that you could see in each container. I'm going to try to make it into a ball. And what I probably should have done was take my ring off, which I didn't. And that's not coming out too good. So I think I'm going to add some more baking soda, and see if I can make that into a ball. Alrighty. So you want it to be pretty round. Try to make it into a ball. It does suggest adding more water if it's too dry. Mine is the other way around, it was too wet. So I put more baking soda in it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the first one right there, okay? And I should wipe this off. I may get mixed colors. Eek. So I have all four of them at this point. Okay, and this is kind of cool because you can mold these into just about anything you would like and use them just for regular experiments, not even necessarily for this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what will happen. Can you have an idea what might happen with this? Because now I'm going to add vinegar, and I can either use sort of like an eye drop, or I have a very narrow one, very small one that we use with our experiments. And there's a little hole there, just like there is with this. Very similar to a basting tube that probably your mom or your dad uses for turkey basting. Same kind of thing, but it's a smaller version of it. So what's going to happen, hopefully, if I did this experiment correctly, we are actually going to take the vinegar and we're going to squeeze it onto these baking soda balls, melting them, and we're going to create a chemical reaction. So here is my vinegar, okay, and I'm going to fill my little tube, little baster, or whatever you want to call it, with vinegar. And I'm going to do one at a time. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, see it fizzing? See it fizzing up? It's turning white. And this is the sodium bicarbonate and acetate. That's what's causing it. The baking soda along with the vinegar. That's the key. And you can see it fizzing. See it fizzing all the way down the plate? And it's green. It's a nice, pretty, minty color green. Now I'm going to work with the yellow. Let's see what happens with the yellow. I'm dropping, pouring little pieces. Now, if you don't have an eyedropper or you don't have a basting tube, get a teaspoon and just slowly put it on there. You can see it all foaming up. Let's add some more. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to move this guy down. Let's add some more there. See what happens. All right, and now we're going to try it with the blue. As you can see, the blue had been there, and it's kind of within it. I love the way the yellow and the green are now mixing together. And hopefully, we should see that going on with blue as well. See it foaming up? Now the last time we did an experiment, remember I said these are similar because we took a lemon, the acid from the lemon, and we used it as a small volcano, basically, is what we did. Come on. Now let's see, I'm gonna move this reddish orange one in and let's see what happens. I really love the three colors coming out on the plate. You probably would not get those colors as bright if you were to use a paper plate and putting them all on the paper plate. I think having a glass plate, you really get to see the colors. Now you can continue to do this until you've actually pretty much emptied, gotten rid of your whole baking soda, the ball, and melted it. I kind of like the colors, what's happening when you're mixing these. That's why you don't want to put them too far apart on the plate, because you want to see the different colors acting with each other. Over here that I want to try out with you. Now the thing you need to understand is you don't use a lot of force with this, but this is all about leverage, okay? So what I have two spoons, two metal spoons right over here, and I have an empty glass over here. Now, another example is if you were outside and there were twigs or branches outside and you wanted to help get rid of the branches, you often will take your knee and take the twig and go like this, okay? And you're literally using leverage of your knee to be able to break those branches. This is also a leverage situation or experiment. And what you want to do is you want to have one spoon, you want to have the other one directly behind it, and you want to have it so that the spoon, the handle of the spoon, is right underneath the tip of that spoon, of the other spoon. Now this is probably one of those things that you have to try a few times and try to get it in. I tried it a few minutes ago and I was very close to getting it in, but not quite. So you can either use your fist. I didn't really use my fist, I used my fingers here. And all you want to be able to do is hit the tip of the teaspoon. If you hit the tip of this spoon in the correct way, it works like a leverage, because you got to figure, I'm lifting this up, I'm pushing this down, this portion comes up, hits the spoon should go in the glass. All right, and you could try it because maybe you're almost there, maybe you're not almost there, maybe you didn't hit it quite hard enough. Remember, you don't want to hit it in the middle. You want to literally hit it on the end. And let's see. Now, I would not put my head right next to it, but let's see what happens. All right, I think I hit that one too hard. And it may take you, because like I said, I tried this a few minutes ago, and I was so close. So I'm gonna try it again. Close. Maybe what I need to do is I'm still very strong, and maybe I need to move the spoon back, move the glass back. Now, I would try this a number of times. Eventually, you're gonna get this if you have enough time. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Sometimes it means you need to move the spoon closer to here. But sometimes it's a level. It's a lever that you're going to hit to make the other one flip up. You ready? Nope, that one wasn't good. I'm gonna try it one more time. Then I'm gonna ask Miss Meg to come over and see how it works for her. Okay, here we go. See, if I had moved that glass further back on the table, it would have gone in. All right, Miss Meg, your turn. All right. All right, drum roll for Miss Meg. Here we go.
Oops, didn't even get it.
Little bit firmer hit, I think. Oh, close.
try it one more
That's
time.
close. She's gonna try it once more too.
Let us know if you can do it.
That's right. Please let us know if you can do it. Well, the last couple of months, we've been doing what I call human experiments. And that's really looking at our body and how wonderful our body really works and how strange it is as well. And what separates us from animals that make us who we are. So the first one is a very simple one. And this one has to do with our elbows. Okay? And what you need to try to do, and supposedly no one can do this, okay? But you are supposed to take your elbow and move your elbow up as close as you can to the very tip of your elbow. You should be able to take your mouth, or let me put it this way, you should not be able to take your mouth and put it up against that unless you were to go like this. And even if you went like this, you're not going to be able to do it. Try it with your other arm. I'm going to try it with my other arm. I can't do it. So I think we're going to have Miss Meg come over here and let Miss Meg try this as well.
All right, let's see.
Not quite. So that's a fun, very quick experiment you can try to see if you can do that. Now, my next one, which is also a human experiment item, is really, and I'm going to be able to do one of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take down each of my thumbs, okay? Our humans are very unique, and I'm sure you probably heard this, that we are really the only animals that actually have thumbs, which is what makes us more ambidextrous, which means we're more flexible, we could do things. We need our thumbs. And if you were to put your hand out like that, and that's not gonna work, let me show you this way, all right? What happens? How do you see your thumbs? Your thumb is pointing to your other hand, right? Try to actually, you can't really put it straight down. I mean, that really hurts to hold it straight down. But if you just let your hands go, your thumb is facing your other hand, okay? That's very important because as we use our thumbs, okay, to do things, that makes it easier for us to do it. So we're gonna have an experiment. And the first thing I'm gonna do is, because I'm right-handed, I'm gonna actually put some masking tape. And I'm not using the real heavy-duty masking tape, I'm just using our colorful tape. And I'm putting my thumb in the palm of my hand, just like that, okay? And you wanna make sure that your thumb is completely taped down. You do not want to be able to use your thumb, but you want to be able to use your fingers, okay? In fact, you did a better job than I did, okay? So there's this hand. This hand I probably did a little bit too tight because I'm not able to really use my other fingers where, okay, so there we are. Now I want you to try to do anything you possibly can to see if you can do it without your thumb. Now, if your thumb is kind of loose in your palm, try to keep that thumb right in the middle of your palm, just like that, okay? I'm right-handed. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to open up my glue, okay? So I kind of have to go like this, and I probably should have had you take my thumb down more because I'm not supposed to be able to use it at all, but I will fake it. So, oh, there I'm using my thumb. If I don't use my thumb, it's that much harder to open it, see? Because you've got to manipulate your other fingers without that thumb. Now, I'm also going to do it. Remember, if your thumb isn't tight on there, don't wiggle it, don't use it. I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to put this little opener in. Boy, these must have been good. These were M&M minis. So I'm holding on to it in between my fingers there, and without the use of my thumb, I'm going to try to pop top it. Well, guess what? I can't pop top. See? See the little ledge? I should be able to pop that off and open it. Well, that took quite a bit to get that open without it, and I used this finger. Remember. So now I'm also going to try. So take a whole bunch of different things. Try it out, okay? What I have here, and again, I can't use my thumb, so I gotta open my pen without my thumb. Try to write. Okay, so I'm gonna have to try to write this way. Remember, keep your thumb in your palm, and I'm gonna try writing. Well, not too bad. It's not great, but there's my name, okay, but it's kind of squiggly. So that's something, try that. That's probably going to be one of the easiest things. And here again, I'm trying to close this pen. Can't use my thumb, so I've got the pen between these fingers here, okay, and I have the cap in the other hand, and I'm gonna close it that way. And I actually have to use my wrist to tighten it. So now, let's say I want to measure something. I have a ruler here. If you don't have a ruler, just use anything that's straight, okay? Remember, you are not going to use your thumb at all. Again, I have to open my pen with my other fingers, okay? And I've got to put this like this. And I'm going to try to use the ruler. Look, that didn't come out very good. Doesn't go very straight because I can't hold on to it without my thumb. So try all these different things. I brought some pipe cleaners here, okay? And I'm losing my tape on the finger that I did, the hand that I did. But here's a pipe cleaner. Can you fold it? Can you make something out of it without using either of your thumbs? I'm having a hard time to even loop it through with my other fingers. Okay, something simple as a sticker. Let's try to take this sticker off and put it on my paper. Well, I kind of cheated a little bit because I was able to move the paper sideways. But some stickers are kind of small. The other thing, we often use the heavy duty color with the stick-on back. Now this is going to be almost impossible for me to get up because I use my thumb and my fingernails. Watch me. See? I'm trying to open it and I can't. Literally, I cannot open it without my thumb. Try to cut a piece of ribbon. Okay, I'm not using my thumb, which is interesting because take a look at the scissors. Most scissors have a special loop for your thumb, to put your thumb in there and your other 2 or 3 fingers in the other section. Well, I'm not using my thumb. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to try doing it that way. Okay, and I'm going to try cutting the ribbon. Well, it's not easy without my thumb. In fact, it's not cutting at all. Okay? Those are just some ideas of things that you can try. Let's say you needed to use a Q-tip. I always use the Q-tip. Even if you're painting, can't use your thumb, you have to put it between each finger, okay? So use that and try to paint with it. There's so many different things you can try at home to see if you can actually do it without using your thumb. Because that's why, again, we are so unique and we can do so many things that the animals can't do.